Hello, it's me. Um, I wanted to make a video about what's been going on, and what will be happening with this channel. Um, I have been in what some would consider, creative block. I haven't been able to convince myself to, make videos or edit videos or write scripts or anything for a while, and it's been really affecting me. Um, I was working on a major analytical video on Domekeeper, um, and I was gonna work on it supposedly. Um, and recently, they just literally 2 days ago, they just dropped this major update slash DLC, adding multiplayer and two new characters. So that kind of put a wrench in that idea. Um, but I wanted to make a video kind of explaining where I've been, if anyone cares. I mean, I know not a lot of people watch my videos, if any, but um, I've been very I don't know what the word is for it. I've been very bored lately. Um, as of recording this, I just turned 20, um, which doesn't uh, make me feel any better about my current position as kind of a bum, but it got me thinking that I kind of need to start working on it rather than just sitting here complaining and doing nothing. And in the back of my head, it's always kind of confused me um, because I like playing games and I like making videos, I like editing, I like writing, and so it doesn't really make sense that I don't have a lot of motivation to make videos when it's kind of a combination of a bunch of stuff that I like doing. Um, Logistically, it doesn't make sense, but obviously it's more nuanced than that. I'm sure everyone's heard a billion YouTubers talk about, creative block, writer's block, identity crises, etc., etc., etc. I don't have any of that, except for the writer's block or creative block or whatever you want to call it. I think I put myself in this situation by taking on several large projects that were way outside of the scope of what I could feasibly make um, in terms of my experience as a content creator and my motivation to do so. Um, and I think that through my own hubris and my own confidence in my own ability to make videos, which wildly unwarranted, by the way. I made two Minecraft videos, and the second one wasn't particularly great. So I'm well aware that it was my own fault for taking on these big projects and then not being able to follow through with it. That's my fault. Um, but I am quite frankly tired of sitting here and doing nothing. I want to make a video. So I'm going to make a video. I'm making this video right now. And this isn't the first time I'm being recording this. But the first time I recorded it, I sounded really depressed, and you could hear me breathing through my mouth through half of the video, which I'm sure you can still do. I'm sure you still do, because I'm horrible at balancing my audio so that you don't hear that. But it's It's a little hard for me to reconcile the fact that I'm an idiot sometimes. Um, so a lot of the time I've been trying to come up with excuses about like, oh, I don't feel like it. I just can't get myself out of bed. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I can't, but also I'm not doing anything else. It's not like I'm hanging out with my friends or, doing things with other people that would realistically keep me from doing these things. I'm just doing nothing. And, there's nothing keeping me from doing these things other than my own willingness to do them. Um, yeah, I'm making this video because generally I'm bored. I wanted to sit down and talk and play games. So, generally, going forward, this channel, I'm going to bring down my standard of quality a little bit. Because, this is fun. Sitting here, talking, making videos, and, as much as I'd love to do those big analytical, almost game journalism project videos, it's not realistic. For my skill level and my experience level and my editing ability in general, for me to even insinuate that I could, sit down and make one of these videos and just have it go fine, And I had a Dome Keeper video. I had the Dome Keeper video that I had planned for months. I had it made. I had it recorded. I had the whole script. I was making assets. I had 5 minutes of it edited, and I stopped and scrapped the whole thing. Why? Because it didn't feel real. It didn't feel authentic. And it felt like I was trying to be, overly analytical. Not overly analytical. I was trying to be a smartass about it, almost. And that isn't what I really want to do with a Dome Keeper video. So honestly, I think I am still going to make a larger, kind of higher quality analytical type video on Dome Keeper, but I think it's going to be more about the art and the music than, the gameplay. And, in my previous versions of this video, I really got bogged down with trying to talk about the different enemies. Like, I would sit there for at least 15 minutes just listing off health, type, tier, damage, etc. And it's like, that nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to watch that, and that's not the kind of video I was trying to make in the first place, so why am I doing that? So, I think when I make the Dome Keeper video, it's going to be more laid back, probably talking more about the art and the music, because I did get permission from Cameron Paxton to use the music in the video when I eventually made it. Which, by the way, when I was initially writing the video, that put a lot of pressure on me. Getting approval, getting approval from the developers of the video game that you're making a video on to make that video using like official music and official assets, that's kind of a lot, especially for someone who has never made that kind of video before. And let's face it, the only thing I've ever uploaded on this channel are low quality, kind of slop Minecraft content. Like, the 2 videos that I have finished on this channel are 2 Minecraft videos about stupid Bedrock Marketplace horror mods. So realistically, I was never going to finish that video. That version of the video, at least, I was never going to finish. Because it was too unrealistic. for me as a creator and me as a person, to expect me to be able to make that video really was wildly unrealistic. So, yeah. I'm gonna make a couple more videos like this, just to get myself back in the groove of getting up, recording, editing, and then releasing a video relatively quickly. This video should be out by, you know, the day after I record it. Not even a couple hours after I record it, probably, because it's like 1 in the morning. Um, but yeah, I think I need to stop taking myself so seriously, despite the fact that I have no experience in this field. I think that has been seriously holding me back, and I'm going to make videos that are more representative of my own personality first, and then I'll get to the big project game journalism videos, because I have a couple in the waiting room. I have one that I'm eventually going to make about this indie game called Waxweaver, where I ended up, talking to the developer of the game, and getting to ask some questions. And I think that video I want to treat with the utmost respect, because I respect the developer of the game, Kaya, immensely, and that was something I really wanted to do at my highest. So it wasn't going to be a video that I was going to make anytime soon, because I am at a significant low point at the moment, which is, it's getting a little personal, which, I wasn't initially expecting to get into my personal issues in this video, but I've already said plenty about my problems. But generally, I'm at a pretty low point in my life. Kind of by my own volition, which is why I wanted to do something like this and, sit down and talk and play games on camera. Not to, like, force myself back into it, but kind of give myself a little push, you know? So yeah, that's kind of what the point of this video is. Anyway, enough about my own issues. This Dome Keeper update, I mean, really, props to the developers. They did great. The two new characters are extremely unique in their own right, with different gameplay styles and different movement than the other two characters in the game. Because Assessor and Engineer just fly. They just float around. So having to play the game with grounded movement in mind is very different, and was a step to get used to. It was jarring when I first loaded up as one of the new DLC characters, which are Infiltrator and Beastmaster. I'm not really going to go into it. I'm playing Infiltrator right now, so yeah. I've gotten used to Infiltrator. He's really fun. In my opinion, some of the most fun movement tech in the game, some of the most interesting gameplay styles, because you have to play in mind of his complete lack of, scalability in terms of, getting up from the bottom of the mine. You have to work and mine out platforms for yourself to, like, be able to tether onto and launch yourself upward, which is fun because you have to mine in a more methodical and thought out way, while not forcing the same way of mining every time. Because it's up to you on how you want to do it, but you should still probably do it. And that's the kind of gameplay restriction that I like. And especially because it's never been done in Domekeeper before. Like I said, Engineer and Assessor, they both fly. There is no restriction on their movement at all. So, two new grounded characters who need physical platforms to move around was such a jarring change, but I love it. I really love it. Um, I'm not a huge fan of Beastmaster's um, playstyle because I already use Drone Yard. So to me, it just kind of feels like I'm playing Drone Yard the character, which isn't any slander towards whoever designed Beastmaster, but it just doesn't feel very unique to me. It just feels like I'm playing with another kind of worse Drone Yard on my character. Which isn't the end of the world. Not every character can be great, like Assessor. Totally not biased. But, I think Beastmaster is significantly lacking in viability due to the method at which you mine with the scaling attack speed as you continuously mine in like a straight line, and if you stop, it basically instantly all falls off. It's not really a fun playstyle to me, in comparison, especially to Infiltrator, who is like the first real ranged character in Domekeeper, with the most ranged options and the most consistent high output damage, I think, in the game. It is wildly different to look at Infiltrator and Beastmaster. Which, I mean, Beastmaster is strong in his own right, due to the insane amount of scaling you can get with the goblin things. I don't actually know what they're called, but there is an intense amount of scaling you can get, because you can get a ton of them, and they can do whatever you tell them to, basically, with, obvious limitations, of course, but they end up being very strong. They end up being basically a bunch of mini drillberts that are a little smarter because they're not limited to a straight line. Which is a big reason why I don't like Drillbert very much, which is kind of a sin in the community for this game, because Drillbert is the unofficial mascot, kind of, basically. But, both of them are fun. I think Infiltrator is considerably better due to his insanely high ranged, consistent damage output. Though his upgrade scaling is insane, because it doubles in cost every single time you upgrade his damage. Which, to be fair, I mean, absolutely warranted. The scaling on his damage is absolutely insane. But it was a shock to me to play Infiltrator for the first time, because it's just so unique. And, I'm not going to keep talking about it, because I'm talking like a broken record right now. But the movement tech that is possible on Infiltrator is the most fun I've had in this game, period. like almost bar none. When I first got the max upgrade on the mortar for the artillery dome, that was fun, but the absolutely like the speeds you can reach on this character, you can cross the entire map in seconds if you do it right. Like watch this. Like you can grapple launch and then double jump to keep the momentum and cross the entire mine in 2 inputs basically. And since you get more double jumps, you can carry the momentum even further. Sorry if I can actually do it. And you can b-hop to keep the momentum and all that stuff, so it's a very fun character. I need to play Beastmaster more. I've been playing a little bit too much Infiltrator. I should really get experience with the other character in order to have a more formed opinion. I don't know what else to talk about. I don't think the developers are going to see this video. You know, by the off chance that they do, Cameron Paxton is a wonderful composer. And even though the music isn't playing right now because I wanted to make the video more focused on my voice and what I'm saying, the new soundtracks for Beastmaster and Infiltrator are both absolutely amazing. And there is no shortage of praise that I could give for the soundtrack of this game, just due to the sheer amount of high quality music. And, you know, the fact that every character in this game has its own version of the soundtrack and its own version of the sound effects that play when you know, uncover relics and stuff. To me, that is such a wonderful detail, and it really shows, to me, the amount of care and, you know, attention to detail that they put into each and every character and each and every update. But also, part of me wonders if that is detrimental, almost. Because, you know, what was I going to say? The amount of time that there needs to be put into each individual character and each individual update is almost beyond what should be done, in my opinion, for each individual piece of content. It makes updates for this game feel almost non-existent, which is why I never expected a DLC in the first place. I honestly had assumed they were just going to add online multiplayer and then drop the game. Because, quite frankly, I thought this game was done. With good reason, too. I'm not saying that because I wanted it to be done, but there was no reason to expect another big content drop like what we got. There was no teaser, there was no expectation. They didn't even say anything in the Discord until April 11th. So, when the DLC released on April 13th, it was kind of insane. But, you know, I still appreciate the developers and the amount of quality and each and every piece of this game is truly inspiring in terms of art and music and sound effects and, you know, playability, just the overall quality of the game. You know, I could go on and on for hours. Obviously, I'm biased because this is one of my favorite games of all time. But, you know, I can be biased. I'm allowed to be biased. I'm not paid. I'm not paid to say any of this, by the way. I might want to make that clear. There is nothing incentivizing me to make this video from Blip and Bits or any anybody related with the development of Dome Keeper. I am just simply in love with this game. Um, yeah, I won't go on and on and on, but I could. Um, anyway, um, I don't know. I don't know what to get. Kind of a mixed importance of all of Infiltrator's upgrades. I feel like all of them are equally important towards the general gameplay feel of the character. Like I said earlier, one of my favorite parts about Infiltrator is that you can. Did I say that earlier? I don't know. I'm gonna say it again, even if I did. One of my favorite parts about this character is that you can collect a group of resources and without having to travel all the way up to the dome like I'm doing, you can send them up further and by quite a bit to, in my opinion, because I use Drone Yard almost exclusively, make it far easier for drones to collect and, you know, move resources because you can just do that and that's significantly higher up and they prioritize those resources more on their way back. Or you can just send them straight up into the dome, which is nice. Unfortunately, even though I wasn't the first person to discover this bug, there is a bug with the supplement for Infiltrator. The supplement is supposed to give the launched resource packages, or the launched resource kunais, infinite range, and they'll just fly in a straight line until they hit something or reach the dome. The problem is that they slow down on their way up to the dome, and if they slow down fully, the items that are connected to the tether cannot be interacted with by anything, including you, drones, Beastmaster goblins, or anything for that matter, which is very bad and very game breaking, which I hope gets fixed soon, because that supplement would be cool otherwise. But as it is right now, it is a literal run killer. If I have the screenshot, I'll put it on screen right now. But I was playing multiplayer with my friend, and I didn't know this. This is when I discovered this bug. So I had sent up so many resources, upwards of like 40 resources, and they all just were not usable because of the bug. So I had lost, basically. I had lost a significant portion of resources, especially cobalt. There was upwards of like 5, 6 cobalt in that line of unusable resources, which really screwed me over. Yeah. Otherwise, the DLC is pretty polished, though. I haven't come across any other bugs. There's been a couple reported sound bugs, which I haven't gotten any. Which is good. Um, and I'm sure the developers are working diligently to, stay alert for any game-breaking bugs that may threaten the DLC and, the content within, and are working hard to patch things. So, it's all good. Alright, I need more iron. A little free drone, I see. Yeah, I think that's infiltrators. Sadly, not great at detecting resources because there is kind of a lack of early game destructive capabilities, which is ironic when I'm talking about the character who has basically a built-in blast mining device. Um, but I think I find myself significantly low on iron almost every single time on Infiltrator due to how expensive his early game upgrades are. Um, which is fine because he's an extremely strong character, so there has to be some trade-off. Now I can get the other drone. Well, the rest of this video is going to be gameplay. So I think I'll just mute up and let you guys enjoy some Infiltrator gameplay. I'm not going to try too hard to live for too long because it's pretty late. And I wanted to get this video out and recorded more than anything. However, the next video might be a long one. I might try to do a full prestige run on Infiltrator for the next video, which would be interesting. Be pretty long, probably upwards of 3 hours if I really tried. Yeah, if you're still here, I appreciate you watching this video or caring enough to stay this long. And I hope you have a great day. Goodbye. So, there's about a couple hours of footage here, but the problem is that I didn't actually record any of the audio from this playthrough. So from this point forward, from where I stopped recording just then, I had swapped to a different OBS layout, and from there, no audio was recorded for this entire run, which was like at least 3 hours long. So I'm just gonna speed through it, and promise that a full run with audio and music and me talking and maybe a video of Dome Keeper with a couple of my friends is coming. So, yeah, thank you for watching. I'm sorry I didn't record audio for this entire section. So I'll do better next time. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.